bottom line is Kamala Harris, I believe she's going to win because I cannot believe, I just cannot believe that America would do this.
That's a pretty good reason. So you believe that she's going to win because you cannot believe that she couldn't win.
I can't believe that they would put Donald back into power. Maybe I'll wake up Wednesday morning and find differently, but that's how I'm getting through the next couple of days. And I literally can't think.
You're insane.
I know everyone's freaking out. Just wait, take a chai, breathe. I think she's got this, inshallah. It's just a matter of how much. I am also going to predict that Dems take the House. Nancy Pelosi earlier said it. Nancy Pelosi does not speak out of line. She speaks only when she's counted the votes. And I'll also be bullish, and I believe they hold the Senate 50. That
didn't age well.
How I'm feeling.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I mean, I don't want to get...
The part that is painful for us, and I think we should acknowledge, is the fact that it's even close. And that's because of white supremacy, that's because of misogyny, and that's because of the radicalizing effect of right-wing media that has brainwashed a third of our population. And I think, Mary, I've said it on your show before, I don't think we're going to win them over.
So it's racism, misogynism, and they're idiots. That sounds like a good way to win over voters.
My lifetime, which is why this is the beginning of the long walk home. But those 2.5 months, ground game was fantastic. The social media game was fantastic. The messaging was fantastic.
Joe Biden, if this is successful, this has been one of the most successful presidencies of my lifetime.
That's laughable. Laughable.
And I think Joe Biden should be thanked for what he's done.
That they did it.
They're stabbing Joe Biden in the back right now.
Because they were so, like Donald saying he's going to win in a landslide. I mean, okay, fine. But
as of right now, with about 65 to 67% of the votes in, Kamala Harris is narrowly winning suburban Hamilton County, Indiana. For perspective, Trump won it by 7 in 2020. And Iowa, folks, the Seltzer poll that came out 2 days ago, which is an A+ near bullseye poll, she's like 9 out of 10. She predicted a +3 Harris win. Nobody.
That worked out well, did it?
Had Iowa on the map. People said, okay, maybe even if she loses, the fact that Iowa is in play, well, Johnson County, Iowa's
never in play. Again, Iowa was never in play.
Democratic county is on track to shatter record turnout tonight. That's, folks, Indiana. I didn't talk about Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. I'm talking about Iowa and Indiana.
AP just called it for Indiana, called it for Donald in Indiana, Kentucky, and for Harris in Vermont.
Wait, so Brian, hold on. No. Wait, hold on. We're not ready for this yet. Hang on a second. Okay.
She's got to take her pill.
Brian is correct. It has been called by AP, but everyone else is saying it's still too early to call Indiana. So I just wanted to clarify for anyone who's watching.
It's never too early to call Indiana.
This is an update because everyone's worried about Georgia. We got Mercedes, our spin master from Georgia. Almost all votes in from Douglas County, Georgia, suburban Atlanta. VP Harris is +31.
She's got
that is nearly.
She's got it. It's over. She's going to win. 6
points better than President Biden's 2020 margin there, which was 25.2.
Very nice. Very, very, very
nice. He has closed the gap there as well.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a red mirage like we saw in 2020. If you all remember going back, taking the DeLorean, and it wasn't until midnight or maybe 1 a.m. where some people exhaled, but most people didn't until the next day.
I hope
that never came.
That the red mirage is in full flight, because it has been, right? Remember 2022? The red tsunami was a puddle, or not a puddle.
Well,
that's not a good analogy. It was a trickle. It was a trickle.
Yeah. It's all BS. They try to bully you, intimidate you. And you see the tactics at the polling places, the call in, the bomb threats. All of this is an extension of Donald Trump's method of bullying, intimidating, and trying to get people scared of him. So, it's inevitable. Donald Trump's going to win. It's not inevitable. Get out and vote. Donald Trump's going to lose.
Given the fact that we're not seeing encouraging things in some of these states like Texas, it's, unsettling.
Well,
yeah, it is unsettling. And
Finally, somebody with a brain. What do you call it, Norm?
I just
VOTE.
Decision desk calls North Carolina for Trump, but it's a decision desk.
calls North Carolina for Trump.
Is
Yeah,
that not a network? I wouldn't trust that.
not a network yet. But yeah, so decision desk projected that they'll win.
let's not do that.
Okay,
That
and
doesn't.
then there's Sarah McBride.
And I want to get everybody's opinion on this because I'm looking at these numbers, and you're talking about a red mirage. Some of this doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. For them to call.
That's because every county went to the right. So your brain can't comprehend it.
Some of this early, I'm still a little confused. I like seeing that Georgia, North Carolina, and Virginia still haven't been called, whereas at the same time, with the numbers that have been dropped in other states, they've called them. So
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It's going to be it's urban rural going down in these swing states. Atlanta suburbs shifted 4 to 7 points towards Harris. Rural swinging 2 to 5 points towards Trump. And for what that's worth, this is how Democrats have won elections in 2020. And if it holds, that means right now it seems like Kamala Harris will retain the Rust Belt. In the latest poll in Nevada shows she's increasing the lead, and it'll come down to the wire in Georgia and North Carolina, folks.
He's just picking all the polls that show Kamala is favorable.
I would tell everyone that Waj is right. There's a red mirage. I'm not so sure it's going to be as overwhelmingly Harris as he thinks, but I still feel pretty confident. And
I said
have to go back to work. Can't go back and cast their ballots. And we know DeKalb County that it's. Are we surprised that it's DeKalb County? So, as much as we believe that the system is holding, and it is, and there are people doing the work, and we are grateful to them, there has been so much going on ahead of this election to dissuade people, to frighten people, to terrorize people. We don't know. We do not know. Striking people off the voting rolls for no reason. The Supreme Court siding with Virginia in this absolutely abysmal decision. So, sorry. I think I need to hydrate. I'm not taking my own advice. I said this the other day. It's like I'm usually like really good at hydrating, as if it's a skill. No, I'm good about hydrating. Like I remember to drink water and stuff. But we have.
here, I can't hear
No,
you.
I can't hear you, Mary.
We lost your audio, Mary.
You lost your audio, Mary.
I think she's still hydrating.
Oh, Gatorade. No, I can't hear you. You're extremely muted.
And for those, while Mary brings on the guest, for those who are freaking about Pennsylvania, folks, it's really early. Less than 50% of the votes are in. This is what happened in 2020. I'm just trying to, for those who are on the ledge, this is me telling you, just exhale. It's going to be a long night. That's all.
This guy's a cheerleader. He's not looking at the data, honestly.
In your state.
I think Kamala Harris is going to win the presidency. I think it's going to be very close in Georgia.
You're wrong.
I don't think that although it was disruptive, I don't think it's going to have the Russian election interference will have a huge difference in Georgia elections. They only affected 5 polling precincts that we know of.
Russia's back on election interference? How do the Russians get to interfere in our election every time? That's weird.
So well, that's where the bomb threats were called in. So I don't think that's going to have a huge implication in today's election results.
Think it's an act of war?
Yes. Why is a foreign country calling in bomb threats and getting our voters to evacuate and not being able to cast their ballots? Absolutely.
God bless you. Take that one to the State House.
Why is it always Russia doing this? Why does China not do it? Or Iran? It's always Russia. It's kind of weird.
Anybody else? I could ask all night long. I'm a reporter, but I'm sure somebody else has got a question.
No, it's because I don't want to, be crunching. But anyway, we have news that Iowa was called for Donald, which shouldn't surprise us.
What about Ann Seltzer? The poll. What happened to the poll?
It's disappointing.
Yet,
but
what was
Democrats. I watched what was the margin.
I haven't seen the margin yet. Hold on, it was called by AP and
right now it's 53-47, and that's within the margin of error for what Seltzer had. But these are not final results yet. But
what I will say is that as good as Seltzer's been, the one time she was wrong was when she called it for a Democrat.
Right.
And it was the same flip. So whatever it's worth. I mean, listen, before this weekend, I don't think anybody was expecting we were going to win Iowa anyway. So I don't, that to me that's not indicative of anything except that Iowa is Iowa. Wow. It's just amazing, man. It's just amazing. I will never get over this.
Can I walk people off the ledge for a second? Is that okay?
No. I want to be on the ledge. Of course, watch.
Get off the ledge.
Please walk me off the ledge, please.
Absurd amount of bomb threats that we've never experienced from Russia.
Bomb threats from Russia. That's what they're blaming Georgia on. These people are insane.
Polling stations are still open.
Yeah.
Votes have not been counted.
Yep.
Those votes are overwhelmingly from blue districts.
That's right.
Deliberate attack of Russia, fake disinformation. The disappointment, like we said, is because it should have been a blowout, but I think a third of the country, like we've said on your show, is lost. We cannot reach them. They are lost to MAGA. Do not underestimate the power of misogynoir. Kamala Harris is a Black Indian American woman. So far, folks, as of now, the map really hasn't changed. Donald has won the states he won in 2020.
And Georgia, nothing else.
And Decision Desk, I think, Decision Desk called it way too early for Georgia and North Carolina. No one else has.
Introduce
the same. I'm increasingly nervous. I'm nervous about Michigan. Oakland County,
you should be.
Numbers are not as good for her at this point as they were for Biden. She's getting like 53%. He got 56%. We have, too many red areas out. I'm hoping that she pulls out Michigan, but obviously if we lose any of these three blue wall states, we are screwed. And they're just too close. They're closer by far than they should be. We're getting a lot of people now calling Georgia and probably North Carolina. I think our path is still only going to be Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Nevada. And, we really can't lose any of those if we're going to have any kind of a margin. And the numbers should not be this close. They shouldn't Virginia be. Even, we're going to win Virginia, but it's much closer than it should be. And that just, takes me back to 2016, and it gives me a lot of spilkus.
Okay, well, that's an update.
They're starting to get down.
Waj and I are saying just count the votes. It's just got to count the votes.
Maybe they can get some boxes in the middle of the night.
going to be super close. It's exactly where we were in 2020 with Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina.
They've already called Georgia and North Carolina. It can't be exactly where it was.
Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona. Well, she didn't even win North Carolina. The fact that's even play is awesome. But Georgia and Arizona, Biden won Georgia by 11,000 votes and Arizona barely, right?
11,700.
Yeah. So, my 300 plus map was assuming she would retain Georgia, North Carolina. They still haven't called it. Suppose she doesn't. And suppose she even loses Arizona. I think she has Nevada based on what we've seen. I know everyone's freaking out about Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, but based on what we just talked about a few minutes ago, just wait for those big blue cities to come in, folks.
They did call Georgia. You just didn't like who called it. You said you didn't like decision desk. They did call Georgia.
Ben Wickler, who's the Democratic Party chair in Wisconsin and a really smart guy, basically believes that we're on a path to a narrow Harris victory there. It's going to take a while. It may be until we get the absentee votes in for Milwaukee, but they're hitting their numbers that they expected in other places. So I'll take that to the bank.
It's Pennsylvania.
But it's Pennsylvania and Michigan.
Michigan's
They're counting on the midnight dump.
good. I know it's good. It's good. I looked at the counties and what's in. I'm not concerned about Michigan anymore.
I want to. Jesus Christ, America! You have so much to answer for. The least you can do, the very, very least you could do, is elect this supremely accomplished Black woman to be president of the United States.
Not gonna happen.
I like at this point, I don't even know what else to say. I thought about his overwhelming support among white evangelicals, and I said, yeah, what would Jesus do?
I'll tell you what Jesus wouldn't do. He wouldn't be with a party that murdered babies in the parking lot of their convention. He wouldn't be with a party that mutilates children and cuts their genitals off. He wouldn't be with that party. I can assure you of that.
We're reaching back to this mythical time of greatness, and will accept absolutely anything from a white man, despite the fact that his opponent is infinitely superior to him in every single way, by every single metric. It looks like the AP has called North Carolina for Donald. But
if you look at this county, that's what they're going to say next. I wonder if that would count the AP as somebody calling it. Or will they say, well, that's just the AP. We got away on CNBC, MSNBC.
Look, I want to make it very clear. A lot of people are joining us tonight. And again, AP called, but it's just AP. So, it's not definitive yet.
It's just AP. I thought that's what everybody went by.
I continue to believe this. There are more of us than there are of them. People
to break in.
Let's hope not.
Sorry, with some news,
Please.
Which is that they're projecting Sherrod Brown lost. So there goes the Senate.
Come on, Jen, Mary. There goes the Senate.
And that's
a blow. I thought that was a possibility, but I'm sad.
Yeah. Well, we had hoped that, here again, the same as we saw the last time in Ohio when J.D. Vance won against a good candidate in Tim Ryan. Here you had another embarrassment in Bernie Moreno against a great candidate, and it's a sign of the tribalism, but it also means it's almost impossible for us to hold the Senate. It's going to take this miracle in Nebraska and no other
Montana.
Losses.
It's over, Norm.
Yeah, I mean, it is just stunning to me because Sherrod Brown is an incumbent. He has proven himself to be an excellent senator, and I don't know. People literally just do not understand what's happening. It's all about party affiliation and the ignorance of people, which, by the way, is manufactured on the right.
Attack the voter. That always works.
A referendum on our species.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just don't think that
A referendum on our species, so we're not human now. The people who vote for Trump are not human. This is what the elite think of MAGA. We got to just keep pounding them, keep beating them, never let up, never let them win an election, keep voting, and destroy the liberal rot that's on the left. Speak.
I don't think that
Come on, get it out.
I don't think most human beings understand what the point of being human is. Quite honestly.
What does that even mean? Most human beings don't understand the point of being human. These people are insane.
And we'll wake up tomorrow and the people who voted for Donald will be very happy and they will live their miserable lives.
It's not over yet.
All right, whatever. But Mercedes, you have anything to add?
Yeah, sorry, it's dropping in the chat. Just want to jump in here. North Carolina has been called for Trump.
Donald, but thank you.
For the third time tonight.
Thank you.
No surprise.
Now that we've gone down the gloom, it's so close in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan from several people who I won't name who I respect, who know the states. Literally, like, she has a very narrow path. It's almost like reverse Donald in 2016, the way that she might win. Like, literally could be the flip of 2016.
Yeah.
Also, Arizona and Nevada are within nail biter. They haven't been called for Donald. It is very possible, folks. It is still very possible. And I'm not being delusional. I'm keeping it real with you. She barely wins Arizona. She wins Nevada. She loses one of the she loses either Michigan or she loses Wisconsin. She still wins.
What about Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania.
If he gets Pennsylvania, is that the end, though?
Yes.
Pennsylvania might be I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all that. So, like, that's big.
Yeah.
That's big, and we just need to know about the mail-in votes. I mean,
give us the dump. Give us the dump.
I don't want to go to bed because that's what I did in 2016, and when I woke up, I was devastated. And I don't want to leave Mary right now because I'm really worried right now. This is no joke.
No.
It's not a joke. I am sitting here with my friend not knowing what her tomorrow looks like, what her January looks like. And I did not expect this. I did not expect this. And I'm glad you're with me. You're with us, you guys. I mean, I want to go and I just want to go to sleep and not turn on the TV ever again and go live on a hog farm like that guy did. But I feel like you need us. I feel like you need us here, right? I mean, we're here for you, you guys. And this is
Jesus.
This is.
Look,
is she crying? These people are insane.
I remember 2016. I remember the pain. You had a qualified woman, Hillary Clinton, running against a Bulgarian. She barely lost by 40,000.
She's crying.
Votes. 2020, I remember Joe Biden won. I don't.
Is she weeping?
And Kamala Harris is such a qualified woman. We had the opportunity. We still have the opportunity. It ain't over until it's over, folks. For the first Black Indian woman, a daughter of
It's over.
immigrants, I thought the numbers would tilt towards Kamala Harris based on everything we've talked about for the past 4 hours. And all of us did. Most of us did. We overestimated our faith in our fellow Americans as
It's the voters' fault. Trump's voters are garbage.
we should have, because we hope for the best. But you know, the way it's boiling down right now, it seems not enough white women voters showed up. Latino voters just completely broke for Trump. Maybe the strong man, the immigration, we have to win over Latino voters, young men of color, and he held the rule of voters. He held his base, and he won just enough. So
I think she's still crying.
it's one of those situations where there's millions of us. I believe we are the majority. We're not going anywhere. And Trump and MAGA and Republican Party have to contend with us, right? And like we said before, even if Kamala Harris wins or if she didn't win, we'll still find out in the morning, folks. Wait for the votes to be counted.
You're not in the majority. In fact, a large percentage of you're not in the majority. In fact, a large percentage of gun owners who would typically vote Republican don't even vote. A large percentage of churchgoers who would typically vote Republican don't even vote. If the Republican Party could get their people to vote, they'd probably have 100 million votes every election. It's just getting the vote out. So you're not in the majority. Nobody thinks that you should let men play in women's sports. If you think you're in the majority, you're sorely mistaken.
Not morning, right? It's
So far outside of not just my comfort zone,
Brian,
but
are you okay? Brian, are you okay?
I'm dealing with my nephew. I'm trying to talk him off a ledge. Yes, I'm sorry.
No, I'm worried. I saw you looked. I worried.
Why are all the Democrats going to jump off a ledge?
Yeah, no, I'm good as always. But let me do this. I'll be right back with you guys.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
listen, I mean, a lot of people are on ledges tonight, and as we should be, because it's just brutal. It's brutal. There's no other way to put it. But
one, she ran a great campaign. It was a flawless.
No, she didn't. It was not flawless.
Campaign in most respects. Two, we had this turnout machine that just seemed to be fantastic. And when I saw all these people flooding into Pennsylvania, especially, armies of them doing the door knocking and what looked to be, and while his turnout campaign was ridiculous.
Yeah, he went on Joe Rogan, who has millions of followers, got 50, 60 million views on Joe Rogan. Yeah, that was ridiculous. He went on all the right-wing podcasters and the ones that weren't right-wing. He had the best strategy of all time. And she's knocking on doors trying to drag people out of their house.
And then I just had to believe that the Madison Square Garden hate fest would have an impact. And in Pennsylvania, I thought all these Puerto Ricans, they can't possibly support this horror story.
These people are brainwashed. Trump totally flipped that around when he got the garbage truck after Joe Biden called his voters garbage. He totally flipped that around, won the narrative on that, and was a beast.
So I felt pretty good about it. And I thought the polls were wrong because they did not take into account new voters. And, they were using an old model. And I didn't have much trust in them to begin with. And it turns out they may be wrong, that they thought it was close, and it may not be as close as we had imagined.
They basically thought everything that could go wrong for Trump went wrong for Trump, and Kamala was going to win because she wasn't Trump. They hate Trump so bad that they can't imagine somebody supporting him.
And I'm gonna have to go to sleep because I'll be here. I gotta do my show.
all right, so we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it tonight.
Mary, you okay?
No, I am not. But I'm not okay.
So Mary's not okay. The people on this show are not okay. The liberals are not okay. They're still not okay. They're still melting down. And hopefully it'll carry on to the future where the Republicans will never lose another election for the next 15 years, 20 years. These people are insane. They haven't learned their lesson. And that just means we get to keep on winning. If you like the content, click on one of these other videos, and we'll see you next time.